Hello and welcome to this WION special. Now the Z News Fair Play Conclave pays tribute to some iconic Indian female sportspersons who have charted their own course and given us great joy over the years. I am delighted to be joined by three champions of Indian sport, all three of them Khel Ratnas. I'll start with Anjali Bhagwat, who was the person who put Indian shooting on the world map. Anju Bobby George, you won a medal at the World Athletics Championship. Nobody before you or nobody after you has won it. And Saina Nehwal remains India's most successful shuttler. I've lost count of how many titles you have won, but I can count that you've got an Olympic medal and 2 World Championship medals.
23 in total.
23 in total. See, no wonder I could not keep track. But it's so lovely to have all of you because it takes me back 15 years because all through my career I have covered all three of you. And these 15 years, Anjali, what a turnaround in Indian sport, especially women athletes.
Absolutely. When I started, I remember 2000 Sydney was my first Olympic and everything was so unprofessional. I had to literally smuggle my ammunition for the match purpose. And now if you see the difference, if you see the changes, it is a positive change. I'm so happy for this generation. Their mindset is so bright, it has changed, they're aggressive, they're smart. And the basic difference is they are practicing in a complete package. They are practicing professionally. We did not have any access to all the expertise. Rather, we were not aware of such importances of physiotherapy or maybe nutritionists. We just started as a fun, but they grew in a professional environment, and we are banking on them, and they're doing really, really well. I'm so happy for that.
And I think Saina is the perfect example of that because I was seeing your photo this morning, you were tweeting of getting physiotherapy done. You've built on the foundations which were set by legends like these because for them it was more trial and error. Yeah. But for you it fell into a pattern, especially the last 5-6 years.
Yeah. So it became very professional in the last 4-5 years, and in fact after the surgery which I had in 2016, it was quite difficult for me to get back to my best again because in a lot of movements I was falling off, and there needed to be a lot of corrections, and we tried our best, but slowly I put too much of load on that my hip also started getting a lot of strain. So that's how I called up Chris Pedra. Of course, when you get some physio of that high level, you need to really pay them big figure, which is difficult for the Indian athletes. Not all of them can do that, but we definitely need a system like that where we have the best of physios so that we can sustain for longer. We don't have those kind of injuries which everyone gets nowadays, and they sit for say 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So it's not required if you have the best of the system and best of the physios around you. And that's what I have learned by working with especially Chris, who's I think fantastic, and I would like to thank Kokila Ben Hospital for really helping me out with these small issues. But touch wood, I would really like to say that from last 1.5 months, I'm feeling really good. And in fact, in the All England, I had a tougher draw, but I could see that I was really challenging Tai Zwing, and I really hope that in the next 2-3 months I can start doing extremely well.
Yes, and we've seen that you're a fighter. Now for you, Anju, it was a bit different because they both came from sports which had not done so well at the world level. You had a benchmark in PT Usha. But was that easier for you, or was it still a struggle, as both were mentioning?
Actually, athletics is the toughest event. In the World Championship or Olympics, the competition-wise, it's same. So getting a medal in the World Championship, it's the same like Olympics only. But I was lucky that my husband, Bobby, was there with me, and he was managing me really well. And I was with the HSI, American marketing company. So they were doing all the groundwork for me, and I was traveling with them, and even the physios, everything they were providing. They were charging heavily, but I was lucky that I could get all the support. But it's definitely reaching up to that level from India, it was a struggle for me too.
Yes, the good thing, I think you should note what they said.
Yes, it is.
Her support of her husband, her husband also supported her. You're on your own, you're still single, which is good.
My mom, you don't know the story, or maybe I've told many times, but when I was 9, I just joined the summer camp, and she was like, I want an Olympic medal from you. And when I was playing under 10 tournaments, and whenever I used to lose in quarters or semis, so one fine day I actually played very well, and I was so happy and proud that I gave this world #1 national player, the India #1 national player a very good fight. And I was coming out with that bright, happy smile, and she was standing there, and she was just waiting to give me the tight slap, and she was like, how can you lose like that, you know? It's definitely, I took it in a positive way. You know, you can't take these things in a negative way, because then some you know, kids I've seen, they get a little bit, why did she hit me? But I really got angry that day, and I was like, you know, I will show her that the next tournament I'm going to win it. And that's how the journey started. And now my friends keep telling me that, Saina, that lucky you are that you got a mom like that, who actually dreamt for you at that age, when we were just thinking that, okay, under 10 chalega, under 13 chalega. So yeah, I was lucky to have a mom who was thinking really ahead of what I could, you know.
Yeah. And Anjali, that's the change that has happened, because I remember you telling me that when you went to the Olympic final, you didn't know what was going on. It was a bolt from the blue. Today, you have 16-year-old kids winning 2 gold medals at a World Cup in shooting in your sport. It's never happened before. But this generation has actually seen Saina, has seen Sania Mirza, has seen Mary, and they've come here wanting to win, which wasn't the case with you, because for both of you, you all had to first get to that world level and then find your way.
Yes, in situation where I started, we did not have any technical know-how of shooting. We did not have any infrastructure, where foreign shooters were used to have a customized weapon, whereas in India, one weapon was used by or shared by 2-3 shooters. In such condition, we started, and we didn't know, we had no vision. When we started, our generation, or maybe our next generation, achieved something, then our sport got promoted, it reached to the layman. People now talk about our scores, they know about the rules and regulations. If you know the intricacies of the sport or of that event, then you develop that interest. And that's what has happened. Many thanks to the media also. Right from 2002 Commonwealth Games, we are getting good coverage. Even kabaddi to cricket, all events are equally getting space in the media. That is why it has got attention, or the contribution to the society is more from the media.
Thank you. I accept it. I accept it. We always get abused, but today I accept it. But is that one regret for you, that while Anjali started this passion in shooting, you know, Saina inspired so many little girls who are now, you know, challenging for international medals. She inspired the likes of Shrikant, Sindhu, who are doing well. But in your case, your medal came after a long time. But you won a world championship medal, but athletics could not kick on from there. Is that a regret for you? That your sport could not cash in on your success?
Yeah, even I was thinking after my medal, there will be many medals from World Championship or Olympics. But unfortunately, it's not happening. Why? Because, as I said, it's the toughest event. And actually getting a good coach is first thing. And then managing the international competitions. Actually, our Indians are not going for any competition. They are straight away going for the major championships. That's the wrong concept.
Hang on, because I remember when you were competing, you went and competed in the Diamond League, the Grand Prix against the best. And that's the only way you can raise your skill level.
Actually, we need to manage really well, because if we want to figure into the Golden League or Diamond League or Grand Prix, we need to be best of 16 or best of 12. So getting into that range, it's again a struggle. So there we need to balance everything. So as I said, I was with HSI, Hudson and Smith Company. So they were managing me. Without, at least we need to compete 16 or 18 competition before the major championships. Otherwise, it's not easy for us to win a medal in World Championship or Olympics.
Absolutely, but because Saina is here, I want to put her on the mat. She came a bit after you guys, so you can say next generation. How impressed are you by what she has achieved? I remember a time when we celebrated a badminton player reaching the World Championship quarterfinal. But she reached that level, Olympic quarterfinal, Super Series finals, then started winning. And she set this roadmap for sustained success.
Forget that, we never used to think like, can we beat Chinese and Koreans in, especially in women's, because we already had Prakash sir and Gopi sir winning that. But we never had the consistent players who could play at that level. So it's definitely, the mindset was like, badminton mein kaise hoga, very difficult, you know, to beat all these Chinese and who were ruling from 82 and 80s. So it was just
So
like
how
a
did you
surprise
manage
for
that?
me.
How did you manage that when people told you
Yeah.
कि badminton में कैसा होगा? Because she's gone through that, you've gone through that. कहाँ Indian athlete medal जीतेंगे? But how did you change it?
So then of course ये थोड़ा funny रहता है बोलने में, but from
बोलो,
childhood my coaches were like तू तो जाट है यार, अपना जाट दिखा यार. So that definitely that mindset was there, you know, from childhood. I was like, अगर if any boy is running with me or we are doing some kind of, even till today, anyone, whether he's my best friend or whatever, मुझे competition देना ही है. I have to beat him or I have to, you know, really do well and or equal to what he is doing. So the competition was always there, and they knew that Saina is like, अगर उसको थोड़ा सा और, if we get her into tension, then she gets really fired up and she really wants to, you know, just whoever is there in front of her, she doesn't care much. So that was the positive attitude which I had, and whenever people used to see me off the court, she's very quiet, relaxed, but what happens when she enters the court, it totally changes, she becomes so aggressive. And it's just that I think naturally it was there, and people around me, like from childhood when Govardhan sir was there, and then Gopi sir came in, and then my parents all have that one vision of Saina, you have to beat, Saina, you have to win, Saina, you have to do this, you have to do this. So game was around me every time, and then it was all about winning, and they protected me from many negative thoughts, and whenever I should lose also, they were like, no Saina, you can achieve it. When others can do it, even she is made of what? Same skin, you know, you have to believe it. So that's how I started believing it and started winning, and the first title was in 2006, which was really from nowhere, beating world number 3 and everyone. So that gave me a little bit more confidence, and yeah, that's how I became.
You know, when you look at Indian sports and especially the women's rise of women's sport, the turning point, you were very young then, was the Sydney Olympics, and you were there, you reached the final, and Malleshwari won a medal. And I remember you and Malleshwari were right next to each other. I think you were injured, so you had to pull out. But you and Malleshwari were right next to each other, and you were surprised because when she won the medal and became the first women medalist, the Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee called, and it was a huge thing for all of you.
It was a huge thing for me actually, being a newcomer, being a first Olympic exposure for me, and she was in my next room. I went to congratulate her, she was not in the room, I searched her everywhere, then I went to the IOA room. There I just sat and saw her with her medal. I touched that medal, and that was a fabulous experience. The touch was really, you can't explain it in the words. And then I came to know that she was speaking to our Prime Minister. It was like, wow, huge thing for me. That was, actually that point was a barrier breaking point for the Indian sport. Even performances from Saina, Sania and Mary Kom, absolutely creditable. You know, they broke that barrier. We always had complex in our mind competing in an event where physically demanded events, or you know, the stamina is at stake. But and we always had that complex कि नहीं इसमें क्या हो सकता है, we can't run with them, we can't fight with them. But they really broke that barrier. Now
I think
the
also
new
Anju
generation,
did that, because you look at Anju. Anju was completely fit. Her entire game was about fitness, and you had to run really full straight at that board and jump at it. And at the Olympics, you did it. Your first jump, you qualified. Sadly, you fell ill, and that cost you an Olympic medal. But we are still hopeful that you will get it. But the breaking that mindset, I think that is what is important. That a lot of these sports persons we are honoring today have broken mindsets.
True. Actually, can we believe winning a medal in front of Usain Bolt? So we can't do that. So
initially we used to only, our generation used to think about international competitions. Yes, we'll go and we'll compete with them. But after few achievements, the new generation, whoever the new student coming with coming in my academy has a dream, or it comes with that full idea of competing in the Olympics and winning medal. That bright and aggressive mindset has changed everything.
Changed it a lot. Abhinav Bindra, definitely women are doing extremely well, but Abhinav Bindra, Rajyavardhan Rathod, they really changed the thinking that time, because they got.
You were in Beijing, yes?
Yes, I saw him getting the silver medal there, and you know, we could believe whatever sport it is, but medal is a medal. You know, it is like, he's got a medal, even we need to fight for it. That's it, you know, that aim becomes like that. So it's a very proud feeling when someone gets medal from India, when we are there, you know, it becomes really motivating as well when you have a competition immediately next day or something like that. So, yeah.
As I wind up, you know, when you look at this generation which has come today, you think that the way India is going today, the way these new champions have come, Malleshwari won 1 medal, then they won 2, she and Mary Kom, and then in Rio only the women won it. You think that this is the way to go? The women are less distracted these days, and they fight so much that that natural thing is in them?
Women were not distracted, they were not supported properly.
Yes.
Women have been sincere
category.
category.
I think our Indian women are more aggressive than men.
Yeah.
And if you see her play, you know what I'm saying.
No, I think the system, as they said, the system is like
system has
changed so much. There's everything you want now. You know, there's a lot of like for badminton, the shuttles are there, coaches are there, physios are there. People are there to look after you, which was not there before, and still people used to play so well. They were so talented. So it's just that now we want to play more, and it is achievable, as you can see at the highest level. When we see Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi at the age of 34, 35, Roger Federer, 36. I mean, they give you that confidence that when they can do it and non-stop winning 7, 8 titles, that too in that age. So you know it's possible whether he's a boy or a girl, but it's definitely changing in the women's in India, because I can see that there are a lot of girls who want to do well, and they're like, we want to be like, you know, someone like Serena Williams or like a great figure, and it is possible. Nowadays, everyone is doing well.
We have one more change here in the system that's really notable. It's like whatever trust NGOs have come up in the society, and they are adopting athletes, the cream of India, and they have access to everything. They need not to hunt for any expertise. They have ready access. They have everything. They are adopted by them.
Olympic gold quest.
And that has made a lot of difference.
Yeah, even
definitely.
before World Championship, I was running here and there for the support. But now we are reaching to the kids. Like, you want something, you want money, how much you need, how many crores you need. So that's a big change.
We are working on all levels, on grassroots level, medium level, and the cream of the athletes.
So Go Sports, OGQ, and then if you see the government also has become so, you know, they have been funding us for all the tournaments. So it's become so good now that we don't have to worry about which tournament to play or not play, because there's, you know, every tournament which we can play now. So the experience is there, and anyone can.
The government has also realized they have good schemes, good policies now.
Okay, I think that's the reason why we are celebrating all you champions. They're not just saying that women power is there. Women power is there and it is dominant. Thank you, Saina Nehwal, Anju Bobby George and Anjali Bhagwat as always. Pleasure talking to you. Brought back some great memories.
Thank you.